Attorney General Pam Bondi and Interior Secretary Doug Burgum visited the former federal prison Alcatraz in California on Thursday, amid controversy over President Donald Trump's directive to reopen the facility. The visit comes after Trump called for the reopening of Alcatraz 60 years after it was shut down, a move Democrats have criticized as a waste of resources. Bondi and Burgum were accompanied by a Fox News correspondent during their visit, but it is unclear whether they will open up their visit to media. The Senate narrowly approved a White House request to claw back $9 billion from the federal budget, including funding for foreign aid and public broadcasting. Trump also announced he is ending federal funding for California's high-speed rail project, calling it a boondoggle. A 17-year-old male has been arrested and charged with the murder of Sunshine Sonny Stewart, a 48-year-old paddleboarder found dead on July 3 at Crawford Pond in Union, Maine. The cause of death was determined to be strangulation and blunt force trauma. The suspect, who is from Maine, was arrested without incident on Wednesday night and transported to the Long Creek Youth Development Center. The investigation revealed that Stewart had rented a campsite at Micmac Family Campground for the summer season and had only stayed on the grounds for 2 or 3 nights prior to her disappearance on July 2. A small plane crashed in a remote area of Olympic National Park in Washington on Tuesday evening, killing at least 1 person and injuring 2 others. The incident occurred at approximately 6:50 p.m. near the Irely Lake trailhead, with park rangers coordinating a response with Naval Air Station Whidbey Island Search and Rescue. 2 occupants were transported to a Level 1 trauma center for treatment, while 1 person died due to the crash. The cause of the accident is currently under investigation by the National Transportation Safety Board. A robot draped in pride flags was spotted running through West Hollywood, California on July 17, 2025. The incident has left some motorists shocked and sparked curiosity about the purpose of the robot's display. The robot, which wore a cowboy hat, was seen moving through the area without any apparent human control. Authorities have not commented on the incident or the meaning behind the robot's pride flag display. A sneaky squirrel was caught on camera stealing a chicken snack from a stroller at the Walt Disney World's EPCOT theme park in Florida. The incident occurred on July 17, 2025, and was captured by an ABC News live video stream. Witnesses praised the squirrel's cunning, with one onlooker saying, "Good for you, bud." The theft is just one of many unusual events reported at the popular tourist destination. The federal immigration operations in Los Angeles have created a sense of political irony in the Golden State, according to Los Angeles County Republican Party Chair Roxanne Hogue. The region continues to make waves after anti-ICE riots in June, as well as authorities recently conducting a massive operation on a cannabis farm in Southern California that resulted in a riot, hundreds of illegal immigrant arrests, and a child labor investigation into the company. The operation was the result of a criminal search warrant, and the company, Glasshouse Brands, has denied intentional wrongdoing. New York Liberty head coach Sandy Brondello is looking forward to coaching Caitlin Clark in the WNBA All-Star Game on Saturday, but Clark's lingering groin injury threatens her status for the weekend. Clark was ruled out of Wednesday night's game against the New York Liberty and will undergo imaging to determine the extent of the injury. The Fever star has been dealing with her second groin injury of the year and also missed 5 games early in the season due to a quad injury. A new safety vest with built-in cameras is helping to protect runners from harassment and increase visibility on the road. The Urban Eyes vest features dual 2.5K cameras that capture footage of surroundings, sending a clear message to potential attackers: "You're being recorded." With its high visibility panels and long battery life, this wearable tech empowers users to stay focused and feel protected while walking, jogging, or running. French electro-pop band Yelle has canceled their North American tour due to concerns over the U.S. political climate, citing worries about immigration and freedom of speech. The band expressed concerns that they need to feel safe while traveling with their young child. This decision follows a growing list of international acts who have expressed concerns over performing in the U.S. Idaho prosecutors have dropped their support for the ongoing gag order in the Brian Kohberger quadruple murder case after he pleaded guilty to all charges. The gag order was intended to ensure Kohberger's right to a fair trial, but now that he has admitted to the slayings of 4 University of Idaho students, attorneys for the media argued that the gag is pointless. A hearing on the motion to lift the gag order is scheduled in Boise, Idaho for 12:30 p.m. ET, 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. Kohberger faces 4 consecutive life sentences without parole for the 2022 knife attack that left 4 University of Idaho students dead. Trey Wingo, a former ESPN staple on SportsCenter and NFL Live, expressed disappointment with the network's current state in a social media post. He lamented the loss of variety in programming, comparing it to a banquet dinner where viewers are limited to choosing between 2 options. Wingo left ESPN in 2020 and has since worked with Caesars Sportsbook and Peacock. Former White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre is among 4 high-profile former Biden officials who have scheduled interviews with the House Oversight Committee. The committee is investigating allegations that Biden's former top White House aides covered up signs of his mental and physical decline while in office, and whether any executive actions were commissioned via autopen without the president's full knowledge. The interviews are expected to take place behind closed doors in September. A body found in Turks and Caicos over a week ago has been identified as Brian Terrence, 51, who went missing on June 25 during a vacation with his wife. The Royal Turks and Caicos Islands police force confirmed Terrence's identity following a forensic dental analysis. No signs of trauma were discovered during the autopsy, but police are still awaiting final results. An investigation into Terrence's death has been opened, and authorities are asking anyone with information to come forward. A customer at a restaurant reportedly took back his tip after being criticized by the waitress for leaving a small amount, sparking controversy over tipping etiquette. The incident has raised questions about the role of tips in the service industry and whether they should be used as a means to criticize customers. Russian President Dmitry Medvedev has threatened to launch preemptive strikes against the West as the U.S. and its NATO allies increase support for Ukraine. The comments come after President Donald Trump announced secondary tariffs on Moscow, including 100% tariffs on nations that purchase Russian oil if a peace agreement is not reached within 50 days. The U.S. is sending Patriot missiles to NATO nations, which will then be routed to Ukraine. However, the timing and specifics of the delivery remain unclear. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has expressed concerns about the 50-day deadline, stating that it means another 50 days of death for Ukrainian citizens. A Reddit user sparked a heated debate about the etiquette of bringing fragrant food on planes, with some arguing it's inconsiderate to others, and others defending their right to eat what they want. Travel expert Gary Leff advised passengers to be mindful of others and avoid bringing stinky foods on flights. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons criticized Chicago Democratic Mayor Brandon Johnson for calling President Donald Trump's immigration policies a militarized force. Lyons said the claim is absolutely disgusting and that Johnson should focus on addressing the city's sanctuary policies, which he claims harbor criminal aliens. The Department of Homeland Security reported an 830% increase in assaults against ICE officers since January 2025. With some Democrats pushing to unmask agents, Lyons praised 4 unmasked ICE officers who came forward to share their stories and acknowledged the risks they take by showing their faces. The investigation into the deadly flooding at Camp Mystic in Texas is ongoing, with new questions emerging about how the camp owner tracked the storm and whether he saw the emergency alert. Richard Dick Eastland, reportedly began taking action after more than 2 inches of rain fell along the Guadalupe River, but it's unclear if he received the flash flood warning at 1:14 a.m. Search teams continue searching for flood victims near Camp Mystic, where 27 campers and counselors died in the Central Texas flooding. Newly released police dashcam footage shows the military-trained Washington father accused of murdering his 3 daughters just days before the girls' bodies were discovered. Travis Decker is wanted for his alleged involvement in the brutal killings of his 3 daughters, Olivia, 5, Peyton, 9, and Evelyn, 8, before disappearing into the nearby wilderness, sparking a weeks-long manhunt that remains ongoing as authorities search for the father. In the footage obtained by Fox 13, Decker can be seen wearing a blue shirt and shorts, calmly interacting with police after receiving a ticket following a minor car accident. The incident occurred on May 27, 3 days before the 3 girls failed to return home to their mother after a court-mandated custody visitation with Decker. An officer from the Wenatchee Police Department arrived on the scene to find Decker and another man, who was not related to the case, standing in a local Safeway parking lot. Decker had rear-ended another vehicle that had slowed for traffic, damaging his truck's front bumper, according to the police report obtained by Fox 13. He was subsequently issued an infraction via mail for driving without insurance and following too closely. The Wenatchee Police Department did not immediately respond to Fox News Digital's request for comment. In the video, Decker appears to look relaxed as he leans against the back of his truck while speaking with the officer. 3 days later, the father of 3 was reportedly. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz expressed concerns about the Democratic Party's image as being anti-success during a podcast interview with former DNC Chair Jaime Harrison. Walz argued that the party should focus on supporting all businesses, not just those that exploit workers. He also suggested that China could be seen as a neutral actor in Middle East peace negotiations. The comments come amid ongoing debates about the Democratic Party's economic policies and its relationship with business leaders. The Senate Judiciary Committee voted to advance President Donald Trump's former defense attorney, Emil Bove's nomination to serve as a judge on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit, despite concerns raised by Democrats and a whistleblower report alleging misconduct. The narrow vote came after roughly an hour of sharp debate from Democrats on the panel, who stormed out of the committee room shortly before the vote was held. Bove has faced scrutiny over his role in the administration, including allegations that he plotted to violate court orders and directed law enforcement officers to engage in illegal acts. If confirmed by the Senate, he would serve a lifetime appointment on the federal bench. If you're looking for a reliable generator to power your camping trips or provide backup electricity during power outages, we've got you covered. Our top picks include the Duramax 13,000-watt dual-fuel portable generator, Westinghouse 12,500-watt dual-fuel home backup portable generator, and Generac 3,300-watt gas-powered portable inverter generator. These generators offer a range of features such as push-start buttons, all-metal frames, and quiet engines. We've also included smaller generators from Anchor and Champion that are perfect for camping or small appliances. Whether you're looking for a high-power generator or something more compact, we've got the best options for you. Professional golfer Matt Fitzpatrick made a miraculous birdie on the 16th hole during the first round of the Open Championship at Royal Portrush on Thursday, July 17, 2025. Despite having a difficult shot, Fitzpatrick dunked in his chip shot for a birdie, moving him into a tie for first place at 4 under par. He is tied with Jacob Skov-Olesen and Haotong Lee atop the leaderboard. President Donald Trump has accused Senator Adam Schiff of mortgage fraud, calling him a scam artist. The allegations stem from an investigation by the Federal Housing Finance Agency, FHFA, which found that Schiff allegedly falsified bank documents and property records to acquire more favorable loan terms. Schiff's office has denied the allegations, with his spokesperson stating that he voted by mail in 2022 and was in Washington for votes. Trump made the accusations on Truth Social, saying, "I have always suspected Shifty Adam Schiff was a scam artist." The investigation into Schiff's mortgages follows a similar probe into New York Attorney General Letitia James, who is also a longtime political foe of Trump. The FHFA sent a criminal referral to the Department of Justice in April, arguing that James appeared to have falsified mortgage records to obtain more favorable loans. Former Texas A&M and Cleveland Browns quarterback Johnny Manziel revealed on Logan Paul's I Am Paulsive podcast that he almost attempted an NFL comeback last year. He had considered going back to the league, but decided against it, citing his age, 32, as a factor in his decision. Manziel played 2 seasons in the NFL before trying his hand at the Canadian Football League and the Alliance of American Football. He has 7 touchdown passes and 1,675 passing yards in his NFL career. U.S. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll called a set of training slides that deemed pro-life groups as terrorist organizations a grievous error that he'll work to ensure doesn't happen again. The slides, used for 7 years at Fort Bragg, listed groups such as National Right to Life and Operation Rescue alongside recognized extremist organizations. Army officials have since removed the slides and reviewed all security training materials. CBS News Capitol Hill correspondent Scott MacFarlane told podcaster Chuck Todd that he was traumatized by the anger the press faced from Trump rally-goers, blaming media for the assassination attempt against President Donald Trump in 2024. Americans reeled in shock from the attempt on Trump's life during a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. But MacFarlane said he had personal trauma from the crowd's immediate rage in response. He claimed that dozens of people turned on them and said, "You did this, this is your fault, you caused this, you killed him. And they were going to beat us with their hands. I mean, they were going to kill us." MacFarlane added that he couldn't eliminate from his mind's eye the look in their faces. That's what America is right now. It's not rational. It's an irrational thought to think the media shot somebody from the top of a building. But the lack of rationality is what connects January 6th to this. A grand juror in a federal proceeding related to the Karen Reed case has been charged with leaking confidential information about closed-door hearings. Jessica Leslie agreed to a plea deal that includes a single-day sentence, for which she will be credited time served, plus 2 years of probation. The case was filed on July 11th, and she signed the plea deal 3 days later. Jurors found Reed not guilty of all homicide-related charges in the death of her former boyfriend, former Boston cop John O'Keefe, whom prosecutors alleged had been killed in a collision with Reed's SUV. A decorated former police officer, Chase Childers, 38, died while trying to rescue swimmers from a rip current off the coast of South Carolina on July 13th. The incident occurred near Pawleys Island, where Childers and another person entered the water to help several individuals in distress. Unfortunately, Childers was caught in the rip current and drowned. Emergency responders recovered his body approximately 90 minutes after the initial distress call was made. A GoFundMe page has been set up in memory of Childers, surpassing its fundraising goal with over $104,000 in donations to support his wife and children.